Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everybody. We begin with breaking news. Denied. Rhode Island Attorney General Peter Nerona has rejected the proposed merger between Lifespan and Care New England. The two hospital groups wanted to join together and create an integrated academic health system with Brown University. Nerona determined the new hospital system would have, quote, extraordinary market power, violating state and federal antitrust laws. Again, AG Nerona blocking that from moving forward and saying that the state will join the Federal Trade Commission's lawsuit to block the transaction. Also breaking this noontime, police have identified the man who jumped off the Washington Bridge last night after a routine traffic stop. An officer had pulled a car over on 195 West about 8 o'clock. The driver cooperated with police, but the passenger, now identified as 28-year-old Joseph DeRosa, ran out of the car and jumped off the bridge. Police eventually tracked him down. He was taken to the hospital. He will be arraigned today at 2 o'clock. We'll have much more on both of these breaking stories tonight on ABC6 News, first at 4. And we turn to the weather now and take a live look outside with our sky cam. And it is warm out there today. Chelsea has much more in our first forecast from the Weather Center. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. We are hovering close to 60 degrees right now. This is the average temperature for the middle part of April. So we're running about 2 months warmer than where we should be for the middle part of February. Breezes coming in out of the south-southwest. We have some clouds outside right now, and that breeze is going to continue to just pump in this mild air. That wind direction from the southwest, though, ahead of an approaching cold front, and these temperatures will come crashing down later in the day tomorrow. So enjoy them while we have them and enjoy the dry conditions while we have them. It's breezy out there right now. The temperatures for all of us are into the 50s range, which is well above where we were yesterday at this time, anywhere from about 15 to 25 degrees warmer at the moment. Some clouds outside, a few little sprinkles out towards Nantucket. Otherwise, a wider view shows you rain off to our west. We're staying dry through the remainder of the afternoon into the early evening, but eventually heavy rain is in the forecast overnight with these winds continuing to pick up. We have a high wind warning in place from 11 p.m. until Friday morning, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So an extended period of wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour, along with some very heavy rain. But again, we're dry for now. It won't be until maybe 8 or 9 o'clock that you start to see some rain moving in. I'll have much more in your full forecast in just a few minutes. Doreen?
Chelsea, thank you. And happening right now in Somerset, Massachusetts, Governor Charlie Baker in Bristol County speaking at Brayton Point. An offshore wind manufacturing facility is set to be built there after years of community debate over the old coal plant. Environmental advocates complained about pollution, and neighbors sometimes woke up to soot on their cars. 2 cooling towers were demolished in a planned implosion in 2019. Brayton Point was Massachusetts' last coal plant before that happened. ABC6 News at Noon covering our schools now, and a number of Rhode Island school committees will meet to discuss mask mandates tonight. Governor McKee is lifting the state mandate March 4th, returning local control. So far, only Providence has decided to extend the mandate beyond the March 4th date. Meetings are happening tonight in Coventry, Johnston, Jamestown, Middletown, and Cumberland. Barrington's superintendent will also provide a COVID-19 update. And the mask issue became contentious at last night's Attleboro School Committee meeting. A large crowd interrupted some members of the committee when they suggested extending the mandate.
We still have...
Excuse me, let's take a minute here. So respectfully to the audience, we are trying to do our job to discuss this and make a vote as is our responsibility.
Casey Cant spoke with that committee chair. He joins us now live in the newsroom with more on this. Casey.
It's Chairman Steve Withers, Doreen, and you would think by hearing the back and forth there that the committee voted to extend that mandate in Attleboro past the February 28th date. They, however, did not. The motion last night to extend the school mask mandate in Attleboro's Early Child Learning Center failed, and no motion was ever made to extend it in all schools. That was just a snippet we played you of that heated meeting last night, but it was like that throughout. Some parents holding signs and shouting and interrupting the committee at times. Chairman Withers several times had to gavel the meeting to admonish those individuals, telling us today that he feels that unfortunately the message gets lost when you act in the manner that some were last night.
The community absolutely should be contacting the school committee members. They should be telling people when they disagree, and they should be advocating for their positions. But when they when you see what happened last night, which is like what you see throughout the country happening, where they're disrupting meetings, shouting down people when they're trying to make a point, it takes away from what the actual intent of the meeting is.
And again, you heard those individuals last night not wanting that mandate to be extended, and it wasn't. That motion failed last night, so the school mask mandate for all kids in Attleboro will indeed be lifted on February 28th. And Chairman Withers says hopefully moving forward, these meetings will be more about what they're intended for, he said, and that is helping to better educate students. In the newsroom, Casey Cantz, ABC6 News.
All right, Casey, thank you. And Attleboro High School Principal Bill Rooney is likely headed to Dighton-Rehoboth as its new superintendent. Rooney confirming to ABC6 that he is the choice for the job, but an agreement is still being worked out. An official announcement is coming. He's been principal in Attleboro for 10 years and was at Bishop Feehan before that. He would replace retiring DR Superintendent Anthony Azar. Back in the Ocean State, tonight's West Warwick High School basketball game is going to take on a little extra meaning. All the proceeds from the game are going to the families of two senior hockey players injured in a car crash. Kevin McDonald and Matt Dennison were hurt when police say 30-year-old Alexander Krajewski crashed into their car while driving under the influence last weekend. Dennison was critically injured in the crash and is being treated at Rhode Island Hospital. Over $50,000 has been raised for him on a GoFundMe and more than $27,000 for McDonald. That varsity game tonight starts at 6:45 at the high school. To video trending now in Dartmouth. A life-saving rescue yesterday on the Slocum's River, but it wasn't a person firefighters were saving. Instead, it was a deer. The entire ordeal captured on video. And today we're hearing from those firefighters who went all out to save this animal's life. Here's ABC6 News reporter Laura Puglisi.
Well, it was a lot colder of a day yesterday, and a lot of the river here was iced over. Now, the deer was actually stuck on a little island here in the middle of the river. When firefighters saw it there, it was all hands on deck to save its life.
There's the deer! Oh, dear!
An incredible rescue captured on camera. The moments Dartmouth firefighters pull a drowning deer out of the river, saving its life.
Don't worry, buddy.
EMT Kenny Flugel is the voice behind the video. He was part of a team of first responders who went all out when they got a call about a deer stuck in the Slocum River.
It was standing on the rocks in front of thousands of birds, and it was just out there and looked like it couldn't get in. And then it got up off the rocks and it went into the water and started to make a swim for it, turned around, went back on the rocks and just laid down.
Dartmouth Fire District 2 Chief Greg Edgecombe says they don't know how long she had been stuck out there or how she got there in the first place, but it was obvious she needed help.
Very cold, windy. The majority of the river was covered in ice. We have very challenging conditions in the Slocum River, very shallow water a lot of times, and obviously ice pack in the wintertime.
Still kicking.
The crew quickly got their boat and went into action, but getting to the deer wasn't the only problem. They also had to figure out how to rescue her.
They took a rope and they lassoed the deer. Took about 5 tries to get it, and then they had to just drag it back into the land.
First responders made quick work getting the rope off the deer, all while hoping she was okay. And that's when this happened.
Oh, yeah, deer!
It was beautiful. It was like to see that a fighter made it. It was neat. See him stand up and run away.
It's a very rewarding job. That's why we all do it. Get into this field to help people, and that's what we do.
People and animals.
Yep.
Now, again, the fire chief says if you see something like this happen, to give them a call and don't attempt to rescue them yourselves because it could become dangerous. Reporting in Dartmouth, I'm Laura Puglisi, ABC6 News.
All right, talk about being calm under pressure. Well, as Massachusetts backers of Nero's Law celebrate its passage in the Bay State, a similar effort is underway in Rhode Island. Representative David Bennett is sponsoring a bill that would allow police dogs to be treated by EMTs or brought to a vet by ambulance. It's currently under study by the House Health and Human Services Committee. The passage of that similar bill in Massachusetts is shedding new light on the issue.
We've gotten very good at cleaning ambulances because of COVID. So if that dog is in the ambulance and they take it out, they can clean that ambulance, no problem at all. You know, it's just time that we take care of these dogs that will save your life. They'll come in and they've gone into fires, they've gone into shootouts, they've ran down very dangerous people.
Bennett says right now it is against the law in Rhode Island for EMTs to give any assistance at all. So often police officers have to transport the dogs in their own car. The next step is for Bennett's committee to send this to the full House floor. Well, coming up on the news at noon, an eye-opening figure on inflation, an actual estimate on what it is costing American families. And tensions escalate even further on Ukraine's eastern border. The latest on the showdown with Russia when we come back. In national headlines now, families are now spending $276 more a month because of inflation. And it seems the Russia-Ukraine crisis could exacerbate the problem even more. Oil prices have risen to more than $90 per barrel since it began. And if the situation pushes prices to more than $110 a barrel, inflation will jump over 10% on a year-over-year basis. That is the highest inflation jump since 1981. And now the latest on the border crisis in Ukraine. President Biden saying this morning he thinks Russian President Putin will order a military attack on Ukraine within days. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
The threat of war appears to be increasing in Ukraine. Ukrainian National Police releasing this video they say is a result of mortar fire from Russia-backed separatists in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine authorities saying 20 children at a child care center escaped unharmed, but 3 adults were injured when the building came under fire. Both the Ukrainian government and Russian-controlled separatists are accusing each other of the attack. Independent analysis by ABC News confirms the attack happened on Ukrainian government-controlled land, seeming to bolster the Ukrainians' claims. This morning, President Biden repeating his warning that the Kremlin is planning a military attack on Ukraine very soon.
My sense this will happen within the next several days.
But Ukrainian officials strongly disagree with the U.S. view that Russia will launch an invasion on their country. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin calling the shelling in the Donbass region troubling.
We'll be watching this very closely.
U.S. officials have repeatedly accused Russia of planning false flag operations that it could use as a pretext to attack Ukraine. Just yesterday, the Kremlin launching an investigation into what it claims are mass graves of local people in the separatist-controlled regions of Ukraine. Russia also circulating a report at the UN accusing Ukraine of genocide against people in eastern Ukraine.
Putin, if he decides to invade Ukraine, will need to fabricate an excuse to manufacture a reason to go in.
This all happening as the White House says Russia continues to build up its troops near Ukraine's border, despite Russian claims it's withdrawing troops. A senior Biden administration official says 7,000 additional Russian forces have actually arrived at the border.
Today, peace and stability in the Euro-Atlantic area is under threat.
And despite these latest developments, President Biden says the door to diplomacy remains open to Russia, but right now he has no plans to call Putin. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
When we come back, we'll check back in with Chelsea for a full look at the holiday weekend forecast ahead.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
We are looking at so much warmer weather moving into the area for today, for tonight, and into at least the start of the day tomorrow. 24 hours from now, those temperatures are already going to be dropping. So that's what we have ahead of us as a cold front approaches. Ahead of that front, we have the warm temperatures in place. That breeze is certainly picking up, and there's some clouds outside. Here's the view from the Preserve Club in Richmond. You can certainly see mostly cloudy conditions, but at times some sun pops through. Almost all of us are well into the 50s, 60s farthest inland. You know, we get that strong breeze coming in from the south-southwest. It keeps us a little bit cooler at the immediate coastline, but I mean, upper 40s and low 50s, still very, very warm for this time of year. But you head farther inland away from the cold ocean water, and you're looking at temperatures climbing close to 60 degrees right now in the Providence area. Significantly warmer than where we were yesterday at this time, running anywhere from about 15 to 25 degrees warmer this morning compared to yesterday afternoon. The average high for this time of year is 41 degrees at the top of the hour. I mentioned that 59 degrees is the average high for the middle part of April. So we're 2 months ahead of average temperatures outside today. A nice change after we've had such cold temperatures for really Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday afternoon, we slowly started to climb. It doesn't look like we'll break any records here in Providence, mid-60s for that record set back in 1981, but it just goes to show how mild it is outside today, especially for this time of year. Now that breeze continues to come in from the southwest, continues to pick up as we head through the afternoon. Right now, these are the sustained winds, anywhere from 10 to about 20 miles per hour, with some gusts already showing up over 30 miles per hour. The worst of the winds are going to be peaking overnight. We're talking about late this evening. You start to see those gusts coming in 50 to 65 miles per hour, and that's going to continue overnight and into tomorrow morning as that cold front works through. That's enough to cause some power outages, some branches down. There may be some debris on the roadways as you're heading out to start the day tomorrow after we've had those gusty winds all night long. There is that high wind warning in place for the area beginning at 11 p.m. tonight, lasting until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Along with the very gusty winds is going to come some heavy rain. Even some rumbles of thunder will be possible. Much wider view of the satellite radar image shows you rain up to our north and our west right now. More rain trailing behind that. Two systems really making their way towards us here in southern New England. We should be dry for the remainder of the afternoon and into the early evening hours. This is about 11 o'clock. Some showers moving in with heavy rain right on our doorstep. Heavy rain continues to push push into the area through early tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. you can see a line of some downpours with very gusty winds as this cold front works through. We should dry out very quickly and clear out very quickly. Tomorrow by about lunchtime, we're back into full sunshine, but those temperatures drop very quickly behind the cold front. It's still breezy, and now the wind behind the cold front is coming in from the northwest, which is a much cooler wind direction. Overnight Friday into Saturday looks chilly. I'm not worried about widespread icing concerns because we dry out so early in the morning on Friday, and we have that breeze all day, which continues to dry us out, but there may be some slick spots overnight. Saturday starts with sunshine. There may be a few flurries passing through in the afternoon and evening as a little low passes to our north, but the bigger story is certainly the temperatures. As we head through tomorrow morning, you can clearly see where that cold front is right on our doorstep. 60s potentially to start the day. By tomorrow, later in the afternoon, those temperatures are already down into the 30s outside across southern New England. We head into again Saturday morning, and those temperatures will be around 20 degrees, about 40 on Saturday with a few flurries around. Sunshine on Sunday, still chilly, but seasonable. And then we warm up into next week. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thanks. Coming up next at noon, a big update from the Olympics and the women's figure skating competition, and more on Team USA's push for gold in women's hockey. Back now with your Olympics update. Team USA now with a total of 21 medals, including 8 gold and 8 silver. One of those silver medals going to the U.S. women's hockey team. Here's ABC's Alex Prochet with the latest from Beijing.
Russian Olympic Committee figure skater Kamila Valieva failing to make the podium after falling several times during the free skate. The IOC had announced if Valieva medaled in the event, there would be no medal ceremony. But since the 15-year-old finished in 4th place, those medals will be handed out. ROC teammates Anna Sherbakova winning gold and Alexandra Trusova winning silver. Japan's Kaori Sakamoto with the bronze. Meanwhile, the figure skaters who placed 2nd and 3rd in the team event last week will receive Olympic torches as holdover gifts while the investigation into alleged doping involving Valieva is sorted out. And now another doping allegation from another country competing in the Games. Ukrainian skier Valentina Kaminska testing positive for both a steroid and a stimulant. The IOC saying the 34-year-old samples were taken last Thursday and revealed this week. She's currently on a provisional suspension. A disappointing loss for Team USA, the women's hockey team losing 3-2 to rival Canada. This was the 6th meeting between the U.S. and Canada in a gold medal Olympic game. The Americans bringing home the top prize twice, including gold in the 2018 Olympics. But this year, the team earning silver. Speed skater Brittany Bowe on the podium with a bronze medal in the women's 1,000-meter final. And on the slopes, Michaela Schifrin entered the slalom portion of the Alpine combined race in 5th place after an impressive downhill run, looking to medal in her last individual event of these 2022 games. But the 26-year-old crashed 10 seconds into the slalom portion of the event, marking her third did not finish of these Olympics. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Beijing.
Break out the shorts this afternoon, Chelsea.
Seriously, about 60 degrees right now in the Providence area. We're going to continue to see these temperatures in the 50s as we head through the afternoon and into the evening and overnight. But there is a cold front approaching. That cold front is going to bring some heavy rain. You're already noticing the breeze picking up, and we have some very gusty winds expected overnight. Gusts coming in 50 to 65 miles per hour overnight into tomorrow morning. We start tomorrow very warm, but from there we see the cold front come through. Winds start to come in out of the northwest, and temperatures drop pretty quickly. We're cooler for the weekend, but we warm back up next week. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great afternoon, everybody.